Hello everyone, welcome back to the Enlightened Life series. Here I am with you guys today, just doing one of my famous walk and talks, and today we're going to be talking about relieving guilt, okay? Because guilt is such a huge problem in our society today, and it's just everywhere, it's infectious, and it's getting into everybody's lives and really causing a huge problem. Now, this may not apparently seem to be the case from the beginning, but when you start to think about it, guilt is such an issue, okay? So, guilt is also a good place to start on your path to enlightenment because it's an easy emotion to get rid of. Now, the reason people don't feel good when they feel guilty, let's face that, okay? When you feel guilty, you're not feeling good about, what you did. You're feeling bad about it, and it's about the past. You're feeling bad, in 5th grade, I didn't do well on the standardized test, so I didn't get into the math I wanted to be in. My parents were so upset, and I felt so guilty. Let's take that as an example, okay? If you had that kind of feeling, then how does that help you get any better at math? How does that help you do better in the future? The answer is simply it doesn't. Okay, when you feel guilty about things, you just are creating a cycle of feeling worse and worse and worse about the future. But there's a lot of hope for this as well because you can get rid of guilt. You can really just relieve your guilt pretty easily. I like to use a technique called the Peloponnesian War technique. I learned this one from Dr. Wayne Dyer, who has some amazing material on how to live a better life. But in this technique, I find to be one of his most useful ones. And this one is simply saying, do you feel guilty about the Peloponnesian War? Do you feel guilty about this war that happened 2,000 years ago? I would say no. Who feels guilty about a war that happened 2,000 years ago? Okay, going from there, let's say, why should I feel guilty about something that, in our hypothetical example, happened in 5th grade? Why should I feel guilty about it? Now, people say, oh, but, if you feel guilty, then you're probably better, you're going to do better in the future. Actually not, because if you're confident about your abilities, then you're going to go into things enthusiastic, working hard, doing that kind of stuff, working with passion, desire, those kind of forces that are going to give you a lot of strength that allow you to really achieve what you want to achieve. But instead, if you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling I feel so bad about this is never going to work out, you're creating this anxious, depressed self. Okay? You're making your, present moment just ruined by the past time and time again. And guilt is a really weird emotion because it seems so artificially constructed. It seems like it's not been around that long in human history. That might be why it's an easy emotion to get rid of. I'm somebody who's gotten rid of my guilt for over 1.5 years at this point, and it's been absolutely wonderful since I've gone through this technique. Now, it's not always easy to start with, but once you can start to understand the benefits of it, it's definitely worth your time to dive into. So let's start to get rid of our guilt by just let's entirely relieve it, okay? So start with this kind of technique. Who I am in the past was a good person, okay? I did the best I could. I did not do things perfectly because I am a person and I am perfectly imperfect. So I didn't do everything perfectly, and that's okay. That's okay if I did the wrong thing sometimes. But the more I feel guilty about it, the more I'm going to do bad things in the future. The more I'm going to screw up in the future. It's an affirmation for us to do badly in the future when we feel guilty about things. So instead, let's get rid of our guilt. Let's relieve our guilt with ease. Do you really need to feel bad about something that happened 10 years ago? Do you really need to feel bad about something that happened 5 years ago? What benefit does that give to you? The answer is basically none. There's no benefit of feeling bad about something that happened 5 minutes ago. Okay? That won't help you not feel bad about it in the future. It won't help you not screw up in the future. It is just a punishment that you're putting on yourself that is not going to help you at all. And it's not your fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not your teacher's fault. It's no one's fault here, okay? Because the more we blame other people, the worse and worse we're doing for the world. So instead, understand that guilt is not useful. It's not helpful in any way whatsoever. And you can relieve it when you understand that the past is the past. And so we can leave that behind and say, we did the best we could, and we're going to make the future a whole lot better. that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you guys next time with the next video. So stay tuned, and I'll see you then.